a lot of static.
Sounds like way overgained is all. It's gotta go way down.
Check, check, check.
Reduce some audio.
There we go.
Why is that showing up live for me? Is it clear? Okay. You just gotta watch it, and you can always do a little EQ in here. Just roll the top off a little, so you're not.
Check. Check, check. Audio check. Audio check at. Mic check, mic check. Audio check.
Yeah, you're probably good. Yeah, I can probably even like be 20% down. Yeah. I don't like the individual mic.
district requires everyone in attendance to wear face covering and to observe social distancing practices for the protection of yourself and those around you. Thank you.
Asher, flip that switch.
All right, we are live here at Florence High School for the 2020 Gila River Bowl. I'm Steve Miller, principal of Santan Foothills High School.
I'm Toby Haugen, principal of Florence High School.
And we're getting ready to kick off this third installment of the Gila River Bowl, which really has been kind of exciting for the district to finally have two teams in the district that are able to compete on the same football field.
It has. It's been nice the last couple of years to have a good in-town or in-district rival.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be the first year that the Sabercats are going to take home the Gila River Bowl trophy.
Well, Steve, it hasn't happened in 2 years. I don't know if it'll happen this year. The Gophers have had a strong victory. It was a close game last year. It was a fun game last year where everybody had a good time, except for the Sabercats, if I remember.
Well, the Sabercats are fresh off of a East mark last week, so they're coming in with a lot of momentum. Both teams have really been struggling, though, as we get ready to watch the Gophers run out here onto the field.
Here we go, Gophers.
And out come the Gophers with a record of 1-6 on the season. Their victory coming against Gilbert Christian in Week 3, who 10. All right, we're going to take a moment as we get ready for the playing of our national anthem by the Florence High School Marching Band.
Performed by the Florence High School.
All right, and with that rendition of the national anthem, we'll get ready for the opening coin toss. And you really got to give it up to the kids here in the band for, for all the things that have been going on this school year, the way they've stuck with the band program at Florence High School.
It takes a lot of courage and a lot of dedication, and so it's proud to see that from both schools.
Yeah, we were just having a conversation in the hallways with some of the seniors at Santan Foothills and explaining what a unique opportunity it is to be the.
Is that, they're starting their school year out online and coming back in person potentially for the whole school year. It's definitely a unique class.
Number 7, number 51 looks like it's going to be on the SaberCats for jumping off sides.
That's a skill that Walter has really kind of harnessed this year, is that hard count and drawing defenders off sides.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things that's really hard to react to, especially for a lot of these high school players that are still fairly new to the game. Getting used to that hard count is something that they really have to work on. As the ball goes up the middle, gain of about 4 yards on the play. We're going to wait for the signal by the referee, and that is going to be a first down for the Gophers. Ball spotted at the 45-yard line.
Tackle on the play, number 25, Isaac Lang. First down.
And Walter in the shotgun as they get ready for this 1st and 10 play. And penalty marker goes down before the snap again. We'll have to check the penalty. And this time it's going to be a false start call against the Gophers. So that 5 yards that they gained on the offsides call, they're going to give right back there on the false start.
Yeah, that's been a battle that we've gone through all year. We seem to get penalties in our favor, and right after we have penalties going against us.
And the Gophers now looking at a 1st and 15 as Walter once again in the shotgun. Ball is snapped. Give is up the middle. Tackle in the backfield. That give is to number 9, Joshua Bailey. But the SaberCat defense gets back there, stopping him for a loss. And really, offensive line let those defenders right through. 2nd and long coming up for the Gophers as they have another 3 wide receiver set. Walter gets ready to take the snap. Once again to Joshua Bailey, but a good, sure tackle. Caleb Hickson of Santan Foothills. This puts you in a tough spot as a coach. You're going for a first down, but you've got 15 yards until the marker, and there's not a lot of plays you can call to pick up these 15 yards.
Perfect point after.
And we're very early in the first quarter. There's 10 minutes and 13 seconds remaining to go in quarter number 1, and Gophers jump out to a 7-0 lead. We're getting ready for the first offensive series of Santan Foothills. Teams will prepare for the kickoff, and we'll be back after the teams take the field. Accepted by the Saber. Nope, and then dropped. Looked for a moment like we had an interception there, but
while the SaberCats do benefit from the penalty, as long as it's taken to make these calls, you got to feel like it's a struggle to keep that momentum going and really benefit from it.
And here's a throw deep, intended for Aracho. But Angel Rankin comes in and nearly picks that ball off. He was in a great position to make that catch.
He was. Angel Rankin's got some great legs back there, too, be able to get across the field and make big plays. He's frustrated with that one, and I'd look to him to come back and make a big play.
Well, especially the SaberCats don't throw that deep ball too often, and from the safety position, he read the play, he broke on it, and just couldn't make the catch. 2nd and 10 coming up for the SaberCats as they set their offense. As deep as they've been in Gopher territory this entire game. Span takes the snap, hands it off the middle to Leach, who runs his way forward, gain of about 7 yards before he's tripped up and tackled.
Steve, I don't see any yellow on the field on this play.
The last discussion took so long, you almost wonder if they discussed 2 plays ahead and decided not to throw their penalty marker because they'd already talked about the play.
That brings up third down and 5.
I think of that.
And for possibly the first time in the game after a play, the clock continues to run because there's no penalty marker on the field. 3rd and 5 coming up for the SaberCats as they look to put some points on the board and close this 21-point lead by the Gophers. Over the middle is picked off.
You know who
Angel
that is?
Rankin gets the ball and runs all the way back for a Gopher touchdown.
We talked about that earlier. He was frustrated with that last play. Looks for the opportunity and makes it. The big interception for the Gophers.
Oh, but we have some discussion by the referees, if you can believe that. Anybody who's been watching this game might be stunned to find out that the referees are discussing what they just saw. That penalty marker is down at about the 10-yard line, so it looks like it happened during the return, but we might have a holding penalty. It might call this touchdown back. We'll have to wait for the referee book club to end its meeting there. And the referee is taking the slow walk across the field to the far sideline to talk to the Santan Foothills coaches. That would indicate this is going to be a penalty against the Gophers or some kind of recruitment drive.
Scott Howard is not happy with that call. Having some discussion with the referee.
Well, and especially if you look at what looks like it might be a holding call, it happened so far behind the play that I don't know that it impacted whether or not Rankin was able to score that touchdown. But we still received no indication from the referee of what the call might be. All right, touchdown is good. After the play, we have an unsportsmanlike conduct call against the Gophers. So that discussion was more than likely whether they wanted to enforce it on the kickoff or the extra point. And SaberCats elect to enforce that penalty on the kickoff.
You know, Steve, I didn't see the unsportsmanlike.
O'Rourke about as automatic as you can be as a kicker in high school as he extends the lead 28-0 for the Gophers. And Gophers get ready to kick off the football 15 yards back. They'll be kicking off from their 25-yard line. This will be good field position for the SaberCats as Michael Aracho fields the football.
Slides a little bit there, just past the 40.
The defender who had popped through that SaberCat line tried to plant it
And made that turn, he would have been off to the races.
Is number 42 of the Gophers, 10 SaberCats from their own 43-yard line.
The SaberCats' main returner.
that he can fill in the backfield as a running back. He can run routes as a wide receiver. He's a kick returner. So he really is a valuable player that can fill in a lot of spots for the SaberCats.
A little misdirection there in the backfield. Leach tries to take it to the far side. Brought down.
And made the sure tackle.
Brings up second down and 15.
And as we come up to about the 9-minute and 30-second mark, Gophers trying to defend a 2nd and 15 play. Man in motion for the SaberCats. Handoff is to number 24, Gavin Leach. It's going to be a 16-yard gain, and that's good for a SaberCat first down.
Ball carrier number 24, Gavin Lee.
So that'll be half the distance to the goal line, and SaberCats have a golden opportunity to put some points on the board.
Yeah, that's a very costly mistake by the Gopher defense.
We're going to have a timeout on the field. We'll take a break here for a moment as the Gophers take their first charge timeout of the first half. All right, Lincoln under center. It's a handoff is to Leach. Fights his way forward. Forward progress is stopped. What looks to be at about the 2-yard line. And working out of the shotgun, and Lincoln was under center for that one. One of the few plays you actually see them go up under center for.
Second down and 2.
And this could be the play of the game right here so far for the SaberCats as they look to take that 0 off the scoreboard and put some points on the board. Close in on that lead a little bit.
You know, I got to think they're going to go with their main man, Leach. He got him down in this area. You got to think that they're going to hand it off to him, let him take it.
And that's exactly what they do. Leach carries the ball into the end zone for the Santan Foothills touchdown. 6 points on the board for the SaberCats. They cut that lead down.
That's going to be Leach's 7th touchdown on the season.
Yeah, when they get near the goal line, that's the person that they like to hand the ball to. And you can see it when he runs up the middle. He's really hard to stop for no gain. He keeps his legs moving and always seems to get 2 or 3 on every carry.
He does. You know, he's averaging about almost 10 yards per carry. Coming out of a game with 184 yards.
Shane Biles on the field to attempt the extra point. The extra point is up and off the upright, bounces forward, no good. That's as close as you're going to get to a good kick without getting any points. 3 minutes and 32 seconds remaining to go in quarter number 2. It's got to feel good. Even though you missed that extra point, it's got to feel good for the Foothills sideline as they aren't shut out anymore. They put some points on the board and maybe have some momentum going into halftime.
Well, momentum and a little bit of hope. You know, they got that off their back. They know that they can get in there. They know that they got what it takes. It'll be interesting to see what the SaberCats do here. After the Gophers' first score, they went with that onside kick. Do you anticipate the SaberCats going with the onside, or do you think they're going to go with the boot it down the field?
I think we're going to see a kickoff here. With this much time left on the clock, I don't think they want to give up that momentum by putting points on the board or an opportunity. I feel like this is going to be a kick deep into Gopher territory.
Again, we've got Sandoval and Carberry back to receive. And Sandoval
mishandles it. And that looks like
Santan picks it up, and he's gone.
Oh,
he's gone.
Oh, look at that.
Kickoff return by number 33, Isaac Sandoval.
That kicker, number 14, Brian Silva, saves it down. There was nobody between Sandoval and the end zone except the kicker, and that might be the best tackle you see from a kicker at any level of football.
I love to see a kicker save a play.
He just lowered his shoulder and looked like a linebacker on that play. And instead of a touchdown, Florence is looking at a 1st and 10 for the 35-yard line where they'll start the drive with 3 minutes, 23 seconds remaining to go in quarter number 2. Handoff is up the middle. Gives to Josh McAvoy, gain of 4 before the tackle is made. Ball is spotted by the official, and the Gophers are ready to snap it again in their version of the hurry-up offense. Christopher Walter has the ball in the pocket, scrambles forward, dodges some defenders, And it looks like Cutter Cool comes across from the safety position to knock Christopher Walter down, but not before a gain of about 15 yards on the scramble.
You know, Walter's a senior this year, and he started out as his varsity career as a sophomore. It's been kind of fun to watch him grow, and this year especially. His ability to get that ball down the field, both with his arm and with his legs. It's going to be McAvoy with the carry.
All right, second down coming up for the Gophers as they look at a 2nd and 3 coming up on 2 minutes to go until halftime. Yeah. And really your goal here is, as a SaberCat, is to get into halftime, not allowing the Gophers to extend this lead anymore. As it's a deep pass over the middle.
Complete. Third down.
Intended for Cade Stenson. Also, Cutter Cool had a chance at that interception, but just out of the reach of both players as they converged on that ball.
You know, those SaberCats are making their way through that offensive line, and they got close to getting to the quarterback.
You know, that might be one of those plays where you coach your linemen to let the linemen through so that they're too far upfield to defend that play when that pass comes out. Walter out of the shotgun. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. And there's a penalty marker down. It's going to be a false start called against the Gophers. That'll back them up 5 yards.
False start goes against the Gophers.
So instead of a 3rd and 3, you're looking at 3rd and 8. That really going to change your play call a little bit, as you still have the potential of running the ball up the middle, but you're much more likely to get that 3 yards than you are to get 8 yards running McAvoy up the middle.
Another stoppage by the referees.
It's trying to mark off 5 yards can be a really challenging part of officiating. As Walter steps back, he's got a lot of time back there, throws the football, and is that complete? No, that falls incomplete. And in the backfield, Walter really took a shot when he released that ball downfield. What looks like it could have been a reception, could have been anyone's ball, falls incomplete. 4th down coming up for the Gophers. And Gophers are set up like they're going to be going for this 4th down play. Doesn't look like they're punting it away. That's hit by one of the Foothills players and goes into the end. And several minutes after the result of the play, we get a signal from the referee for a safety. Not entirely certain what just happened there.
Steve, I'm kind of at a loss of what to say. We're almost getting to time of possession of being higher with the referees than of any of the other two teams.
I don't actually have words to describe some of what I'm seeing out on the field today. I was fairly certain that safety had been signaled about 3 or 4 minutes earlier, but head referee makes his way out on the field to really confirm and drive home his point that that was indeed a safety. And this free kick is coming with 1 minute and 37 seconds remaining to go until halftime. Gophers have a 30-6 lead. Free kick is up. And Sandoval mishandles it, but is able to wrangle it in. Running up the middle, dodging tacklers.
Sandoval so successful. He's able to take a hit and keep moving forward, stay on his feet, and keep that forward progress.
He's able to dodge about 6 Sabercats, but he can't dodge Anthony Hood, who ends up with the tackle. And really, without that tackle by Hood, we'd be looking at 6 more points by the Gophers. And as is our tradition in the Gila River Bowl, the referees need to have a little discussion about what they saw on the field. And I think the referees are in proper position now. Oh, pass to the near sideline to Isaac Sandoval. Eyes went upfield before he made the reception, and that pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, that could have been a big play for the Gophers had that completion been made.
And Sandoval comes to the sideline as the Gophers set up for their second down play. 2nd and 10 coming up for Florence. Walter in the shotgun, ready to take the snap. And the reception time, that's number 17, Anthony Pistorio.
He's immediately Sabercat defenders.
Tackle made immediately. Didn't have a chance to gain any yards after the catch there. Gophers are looking at a 3rd down from the 37-yard line. Walter heaves the ball. Intercepted by the cornerback, Bryce Mahaney, and he's running down the field all the way down to the 35-yard line before the tackle is made. But look at this near the 40-yard line. Looks like the referee might have dropped something from his pocket. Looks like it could be a flag. I'll have to check the penalty. If this is against the Gophers, that will be an interception for momentum. With 43 seconds left, good field position, a chance to go put more points on the board. And that interception will stand. Bryce McHaney is credited with the interception and a long run back, as that's a holding call against the Gophers.
And he is tackled by the quarterback number 7, Christopher Walter.
Sabercats taking over from the 36-yard line. They've got 43 seconds to put some points on the board going into halftime.
With 43 seconds left, you got to think they're going to try to get him into the end zone.
You know, with Brett Lincoln understanding to throw the ball, and Santan does have 2 timeouts remaining, so they do have the option to run, but it is going to be a pass by Lincoln. And that looks like it's going to be complete to number 15, Justice Gutierrez on the far sideline. Gain of 15 before he's forced out of bounds, and that's a first down Sabercats. 37 seconds left, and they stop the clock by getting out of bounds.
Smart play by the receiver. Knowing where he's at, getting out of bounds, stopping the clock, keeping the drive alive.
And I don't know that Lincoln could have put the ball in a better place for his man to catch it.
It was a great pass.
Sabercats get ready on first down with 37 seconds remaining. Lincoln's got the ball. Here comes the rush. Gets hit as he throws it, but it falls short. It's picked off by the Gophers. Tackle is made at the 20-yard line. And lots of defenders, lots of receivers in the area. Lincoln took a shot to the Chico, which might have made the ball fall a little bit short, but we do have a penalty marker down. Looks like it was thrown after the play, so this interception will more than likely stand. It's going to be a personal foul called.
Initial tackler on the play, number 26.
All right, after that halftime, we are back. Sabercats get the kickoff to open up the second half, and they look to close in on this 30-6 lead. Use this opening possession to maybe cut that lead down and have some hope that they can make this close by the start of the fourth quarter.
We're going to start things off with a penalty. Looks like it's going to be a false start.
And, I mean, why wouldn't you? After the first half, I don't know why you wouldn't throw penalties on every play, because you've really just set that precedent. And, like in this case, you even have 3 penalty markers down on the field.
Yeah. You got to think that both coaches talked about penalties in the locker room and at halftime.
You really would hope so, because both teams lost really impressive drives to penalties. And some of them were just effort, but some of them were just dumb penalties of taking those late shots, those discipline penalties like face masks and things like that don't need to ruin your drive, but just mentally have to keep it going.
Yep. Leach with the carry on that play. Gets about back to the line of scrimmage. Coming in with 2nd and 15.
And Leach really has cats. Most of their forward momentum, most of their movement up the field has been a result of Leach and the effort that he's making when he has the opportunity to run the football. Brett Lincoln hands the ball off. This time the handoff goes to Michael Aracho. But same result, no gain, 3rd down and 15 coming up.
By number 60, Brian Jones. Also 3 brings up 3rd down and 18.
Well, Brian Jones on the tackle makes his way through the Sabercat line to tackle for about a 2-yard loss, and Sabercats are going the wrong way to start quarter number 3.
Brian Jones has been a nice addition to the Florence defense this year.
And Brett Lincoln throws, looks to be a little screen pass. I'm not even sure who that was intended for. It could have been number 24. Could have been Gavin Leach. It really fell between 3 potential receivers.
It looked a little more promising as a potential interception.
That it did. But it does fall harmlessly to the ground for an incomplete pass, bringing up 4th down and what looks to be a punting situation for the Sabercats. Not a lot of plays in the playbook for 4th and 18 from your own territory. Sabercats back to punt. Kick is up and away. End-over-end kick, but has some good distance. Carberry not able to field the punt, and it takes a Sabercat roll. Down by the Sabercats on the 18-yard line. That's where the Florence Gophers will take over 1st and 10.
Down by number 11, Bryce McCaney. The 1st and 10 Gophers from their own 18-yard line.
Walsh has been pretty successful, 34.5 to 35 yards per punt.
You know, and the thing about the punts that we've seen tonight, they tend to get pretty good air, and he seems to place it on the football field pretty well and doesn't always give the returner a chance to run it back. You know, being able to force that fair catch by getting the ball high in the air is fairly important, especially when special teams is a challenge at the high school level. And that's where a lot of points are made. Sabercat defense holds as the give is to number 9, Joshua Bailey. Tackle for a 1-yard loss.
Tackle by number 30, Bo Cotherman. Loss of 1 brings up 2nd down and 11.
And here we go with the 2nd down and 11 play. Christopher Walter in the shotgun as the Gophers set up for the 2nd down play. 2 deep safeties for the Sabercats, anticipating perhaps a passing play here. And it is a passing play over the middle. Reception is made. Is that Tommy Carberry that made that reception out there? Can't see who made the reception. That actually might be number 4, Cade Stinson. But he's tackled immediately. 3 Sabercats converge. And are able to stop him before the line to gain. 3rd and 1 coming up, and this looks like one of those run-up situations for the Gophers, who tend to gain positive yardage when they run that play.
And there it is.
And that's Joshua Bailey fighting his way forward. Gain of about 3, but that is good for a Florence Gopher first down.
Joshua Bailey, tackled by number 7, Anthony Hood. That'll give the Gophers a first down.
1st and 10 Gophers bring the ball up past the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 32. Got 4 wide receivers spread across the field as Walter surveys the field. Quick throw to Isaac Sandoval. Met immediately by Bryce McHaney.
Pass completed to number 11, Isaac. Correct on that.
You know, McHaney's playing off of the receiver a little bit, so that's an easy throw and catch, but he closes so quickly that there's not a lot of room to gain more yardage after that catch.
And that's a big stop for the SaberCats.
The gain of
Steve, we're witnessing something unique here. So far, we've been penalty-free on this series by the Gophers.
that for the 2020 Gila River Bowl, that is what could be a record. No penalty by the Gophers, and a first down there. And what's perhaps more surprising, no penalty on that play either.
Cade Stenson took a second to get up there.
Oh, we might have an official's timeout. Not sure what the referee was signaling there, but we will play on 1st and 10 as the Gophers push the ball up to the 44-yard line. SaberCat defense gets set. Walter ready to take the snap. Give up the middle. And that's another 6-yard gain. And it seems like every time the Gophers run that play, they put another 6 yards into the scorebook.
Gain of 6 brings up 2nd down and 4.
There's number 9, Bailey, in the backfield again.
Yeah, and he was the running back that was in for the Gophers' opening drive when they scored the touchdown with the throw over the middle to Carberry. Running the ball nicely to open the first drive of the half for the Gophers. That looks like it could be another first down depending on the spot here.
Been a tough season for both teams. For the Gophers, at least, they've been able to have a.
And one of the challenging things for the SaberCats that the Santan Foothills missed the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah, COVID-19 has really wreaked havoc on high school athletics. It's that the SaberCat players have earned after having been, shut down for those 10 days and missed those 10 days of practice.
And Walter keeps the ball. Shoots forward. There's a penalty marker down near the line of scrimmage, so we'll check the penalty. But it's really a testament, and really on both teams. You have all the challenges that they're out on the field, that they're putting in this effort. And even though the gap in the score, both teams are showing the heart and the will to succeed that you just like to see out of high school students.
Looks like this one's going against the Gophers.
He's holding against the Gophers.
And if you're a SaberCat, that's really what you need. Consistently gaining 5 or 6 yards. They're moving the chains, and that holding penalty gives you a little bit of room for error as you try and stop this drive from resulting in points for Florence.
It teaches us anything, though. The Gophers lose yardage on a penalty and come back with a big pass.
So you got to watch Carberry there in the slot, as that tends to be their go-to play. And this one goes to Cade Stenson.
Stays on his feet, spins, picks up the penalty yards, and about 6 more.
But you are right on the money there. You got to watch for that big play after the penalty, because they like to throw the ball in on the tackle. Is number 50, Edgar Caraveo. Second down and 5. It's a 15-yard gain, but not good enough for a first down because of the penalty. Walter in the pocket, throws the ball over the middle, intended for Anthony Pistorio, but falls incomplete. He laid out for that ball just a few inches too far out of his reach, and no gain. Third down coming up for the Gophers. And you can see on this play the SaberCat defense is pressing the wide receivers. You only have about 5 yards to gain for a first down to keep this drive alive, so a lot of those defensive backs are creeping up. And if the Gophers are brave, you might see a deep shot, see a pitch play to the near side of the football field.
Big stop by the SaberCats. Number 4.
That's number 4, Cutter Cool, with a big hit. And the kind of tackle that you want to see, not leading with the helmet, lowering his shoulder pad into the chest of the oncoming player. A big hit, but a real safe hit.
And I think that just comes from Cool being a senior and having those reps and having those years learning how to develop those skills.
Absolutely, and just being on the field and being able to recognize what's coming your way as in the grasp goes Christopher Walter. That sack is 5, Ozzie Gonzalez. And that's going to be the first sack on Walter tonight by the SaberCats, who are energized by that play.
I had Ozzie Gonzalez as one of my students when I was the principal at Skyline Ranch K8. It's good to see Ozzie out there making a big play.
That's right. You might know some of these players from your time on the north side of Santan Valley there. When you were principal of Skyline Ranch, a lot of these players might have come up when you were principal.
Ozzie Gonzalez, Hunter Masterson.
Carrier number 9, Joshua Bailey.
So you've been at the high school for about 4 years now, right?
This is my 4th year at Florence High School.
That's
yes.
awesome. I've been at Santan Foothills for about 4 days, so we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Brings up third down and 16.
Gophers line up for the looking at 3rd and 16. And while you'd think that this would be a play they'd get stopped on historically in this game right here, they've converted this 3rd and 16.
Looking at 24 on the north.
Looks
like he's going to be about 2 yards short.
He put the effort on, forces them out of bounds. But where they are on the field, you're a little long for a field goal try here, although it might be in the range of Ty O'Rourke. It's a long field goal attempt, but you're pretty deep in SaberCat territory. You might want to go for it here if you're a Gopher.
You know, at this point in the game, I'd like to see Ty O'Rourke take the shot, just to see what his leg can do.
Yeah, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case, as 7 Christopher Walter stays out there to receive this 4th down snap. Gophers do run a play. It is a run, and there's a fumble, and that looks like it's going to be retrieved by the SaberCats. Signal from the referees is SaberCats football.
That's a huge stop. That's a huge stop by the SaberCats.
And once again, you saw the big tackle by Cutter Cool earlier. This time you see Cutter Cool get in there, put his helmet on the football, force the fumble, and come up with the football. And again, it's what we talked about earlier. You're on the field. You're a senior. You've seen so many plays that when that ball hits the turf, you know exactly what to do, and you go and get it.
Experience definitely pays off.
And so that works almost like a turnover because it was a 4th down play. We're heading for a first down before the fumble. Run up the middle by the SaberCats is good for a gain of about 2 yards. With about 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining to go in the 3rd quarter. The defense for Santan Foothills has been solid. Gophers haven't really been able to put points on the board, although they did have a rather long drive. That turnover ended it. And, they've given themselves the opportunity. They just can't seem to put points on the board and break through this Florence Gopher defense.
Two receivers to each side.
Yep, and Dylan Spann is back at quarterback. Pass intended for Michael Aracho. And, in Span really gives you a different look at quarterback. He's kind of a bigger quarterback. He's harder to bring down, and it changes the play calling that you can do if you're a SaberCat. You can be a little bit more of a hard-nosed team is in there. Foothills gets ready to break the huddle as they are looking at a 3rd and 8 deep within their own territory, about the 16-yard line. And
a low
snap is low. And Dylan Span is tackled in the backfield, but he did a really nice job of handling that low snap and getting on top of it.
Yeah, fell on the ball.
You know, it's not what you want on a 3rd down play, but that's a lot better than giving the ball up and not having the opportunity to punt it and push the Gophers back another 30 yards. But that will bring up a 4th down situation as there's a loss of 3 on the play.
4th down.
And the punting unit comes out for Santan Foothills. Gophers will send 2 returners back to field this punt. And so that's number 15. And Walsh has been really effective punting the football. And this looks to be no different. The ball is high up in the air.
Tommy Carberry takes it.
Yeah.
Tries to make the turn and is brought down.
Sam Andon really chases him down, and while Carberry went down on his own, like Sam Andon really forced that play. And it's one of those punt returns that you would really catch with SaberCats bearing down on him from the front, but had a chance to make a big play out of that by running sideline to sideline, just couldn't turn the ball upfield.
Yeah, there was definitely potential there for him to turn it on and get some positive yardage.
And Gophers get ready to snap the ball. 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Give is up the middle to Devontae Neal. In on the tackle, you've got Anthony Hood, Dylan Span. A couple other SaberCats make their way into the tackle. Gain of only 2 on.
There's a lot of excitement once he starts getting his hands on the ball. He remains in the backfield. To Neal again. Loss of about 2.
Ball carrier number 5.
And that horn ends the 3rd quarter of play. We head to the 4th and final quarter with the Florence Gophers leading 30-6 over the Santan Foothills High School SaberCats.
Of the 3rd quarter, your score, SaberCats 6, Gophers 30.
This 3rd Gila River Bowl is very similar to the very first one when the Gophers defeated the SaberCats 34-14.
Well, you know, I know we talked about it earlier in the 3rd quarter. One of the things that has been just football in 2020 unique is I think your campus normally.
Yeah, we've seen the drop in a lot of sports. You know, football included, we're seeing ball included, we're seeing on all high school athletes.
As that pass is complete to the far sideline. Gain of about 3, but pass came in a little bit low. Receiver had to fall to the ground. He's going to be 4th down coming up for the Gophers. But where they are on the field again, it looks like they might be going for it, since definitely too long for a Ty O'Rourke field goal, but not going to get much out of a punt, so Walter is back. 4th down play coming up. Here's the throw.
That pass is incomplete. The turnover.
That pass intended for.
Stinson can't bring in the ball.
No, and he's really frustrated with himself because the pass was a little bit low, but catchable and one that you got to make.
Yeah, he really didn't have very many people around him, so he had an opportunity.
The first and 10 SaberCats from their own 38-yard line.
Gophers turnover on downs.
1st and 10 for Santan Foothills. It looks like Dylan Spann will be back in at quarterback for this series. Kind of a wider formation for Santan Foothills. They'll have some receiving options if they choose to throw this football. It's a little swing pass to the running back who breaks a tackle. About a 30-yard gain on the play, and that looks like it is Gavin Leach once again out of the backfield.
Gavin Leach, he is tackled by number 30.
And maybe that's what you need as a SaberCat. You get your wide receivers wide, you pull those safeties, and you pull those defensive backs out trying to cover you, and then that swing pass gets you a 30-yard gain.
Kind of spread everybody out. It's good to see the SaberCats get a little energy here.
And it's a big first play that can swing momentum as we pass the 11-minute mark to go in this 2020 Gila River Bowl. Here's the snap. Low snap, but handled. Pass over the middle, intended for Emilio Soto.
Second down.
2nd and 10 coming up for the SaberCats. They get the momentum with some of the runs and some of the swing passes, and it seems like when they put the ball in the air, particularly tonight, they've been getting a lot of incomplete passes that's been slowing their drives down.
They have struggled with the passing game.
And Leach gets the backwards pitch. It rides a defender along the sidelines. That looks like it's going to be too short for a first down, but a nice gain on 2nd and 10.
Number 24, Gavin Leach.
Leach puts him in 3rd and manageable. The SaberCats look to convert on a 3rd down and about 5. You know, the SaberCats are really working the left side of the Gopher line, and they're having a lot of success with it, getting good blocks on the edge and giving Leach the opportunity to make some gains.
Yeah, with Leach still making those positive gains, it definitely provides the opportunity for the passing game to be there.
And once again, there was another opportunity there as Leach came out of the backfield for the swing pass, but that one was thrown just a little bit too far upfield. He wasn't able to make the catch, but that was a play that could have potentially broken for a big gain and a missed opportunity for the SaberCats.
4th and 4 from the 37.
SaberCats are going to go for it here on 4th down. Here's the snap. Drops back to pass. Over the middle. That was intended for Justice Gutierrez and incomplete on downs. Gophers take over possession of the football.
The SaberCats really didn't have much of a choice there except to go for it on 4th and 4.
No. Gophers have 3 wide receivers to the near side of the football field. They throw a screen pass to Anthony Pistorio. Blockers in front of him. We have an injured player down. Number 4, Cutter Cool, combines on the tackle with what looks like that's number 13, Donovan McCumber. That might be the injured player, but we're going to take a timeout here while we check on the injured player. It looks like that injured player was number 50, Walsh.
51.
Walsh was in on the tackle there with Cutter Cool to end that play. And walking off gingerly with the Santan Foothills training staff. That play resulted in a first down, so it's going to be a 1st and 10 coming out of this official timeout for an injury. Yeah, and this is one of those times where it's when you're out on the field, you have the moment, you've been in the game for quite a while, and then you have an injured player, and the game stops for so long that mentally it's almost hard to re-engage at this moment right here. You're thinking about the injured player, you don't want anyone else injured, and you have to find a way to go out there and play football again. It's a tough start from a break like this.
Yeah, and although that stoppage wasn't so long, you got to worry about muscles getting tightened up and not staying loose when you have that stoppage in play. Cade Stenson.
Pass completed from Walter to number 4.
Takes it to the 25.
You know, and while what's really interesting about that is he's wide open. There's nobody within 3 or 4 yards when he makes the reception. And within seconds, you've got 4 SaberCats converging to make the tackle. So it's just a little bit of a change in positioning. They'll be able to defend a pass like that.
Yeah, there's definitely some speed on the SaberCats.
It's one it's got to be frustrating because last week, as we mentioned, Santan Foothills was at Eastmark, and they put up their first victory of the season with a 35-15 victory, and so they demonstrated that they can put points on the board. You can get to that 35 mark, you can get to that 40 mark, and you just can't seem to break the Florence Gopher defense. But that 35 points would put you in a position to win this game if you could make it there tonight. And over the middle,
that incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like he had it for a second and got knocked out. The SaberCats jumped on it like it was an incomplete pass, but I don't think he ever had possession of that ball.
I got to suspect there's going to be some conversation with the referees.
They're signaling privately to each other, trying to figure out what they might have observed. Now the head linesman and the linesman will meander over to join in the conversation to see what they can add. And you know, over on the far sideline, you feel like the side judge has to feel like he's left out. Like I'm sure he saw the play too, and they're not really asking for his opinion.
Yeah, perhaps he just knows how ridiculous it is for all of them to converge and have a conversation.
There's the one bright shining spot on the officiating crew tonight. And it is an incomplete pass, so we'll have a 3rd and 7 coming up here. That was probably the right call.
Well, you and I did make that call about 30 seconds ago.
And Walter has time in the pocket, throws a little hitch route to number 22, Josh McAvoy.
He's going to be
marked down at the first down marker. Oh, and that is a Gopher first down there. Real close, but they got it on the spot.
And that'll be a first down.
It is the last game of the season for both of these teams. You got to wonder if Coach Scott Howard's going to start to pull some of his seniors and bring in some underclassmen, or if he's going to allow those seniors to play the rest of their games this year.
And the give there is to
Tommy Carberry, going to go in for the touchdown.
You know, that's one of those plays that surprises you. Yeah, Carberry's so efficient at getting open over the middle that when it's a little jet sweep and they hand the ball off to him, you almost lose sight of him. They very rarely give it to him in the backfield like that.
Yeah, he doesn't have the height, so he can kind of hide behind the line and make his way to the outside.
And the Gophers add to their lead, 36-6. They have a 30-point lead with 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Ty O'Rourke will attempt to continue his perfect season of extra points. He'll get lined up. Good snap, good hold, and it's up and no good. Ball drifted to the left, kind of a line drive kick, and but nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
You know, to come this far in the season without having missed an extra point is really an accomplishment. And as you said earlier, he's an underclassman that's going to be with this Gopher program for a while.
Yeah, he's definitely an asset.
And even though that was a missed extra point, there's not a lot going on, we do have a conference of referees near the end zone.
I suspect they're making dinner plans. Or if they continue to throw the flags, maybe they'll be making breakfast plans.
All right, we get ready for the kickoff here with 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining to go in this ball game. Ty O'Rourke, fresh off his first miss of the season, will be kicking this football off from the 40-yard line.
Kicking off for the Gophers, number 45, Ty O'Rourke.
And it looks like we have Michael Aracho back to receive. On the near side of the football field, I can't quite see who that is, but there are two returners back there for Santan Foothills. Kick is away, and it's mishandled by the return man, but he is able to fall on it, so what potentially could have been a decent return ends up being simply a fumble and recovery. Looks like number 34, DJ Bird, was the receiver on that play, but he covered up nicely. You keep a cool head. You make the mistake, but it doesn't cost your team.
Sabercats get ready to take over on offense.
And even though there's not a lot of time left, especially for the seniors on both sides, this is going to be the last game that they play of high school football. So, you know, it's different than, say, the NFL where you can come back the next season. For a lot of these guys, there's still something to play for with 8 minutes left.
Yeah, and you got to suspect there's going to be some big plays coming through here.
Yep. And the give is to Gavin Leach for a short loss. The defensive line crashes and is able to stop the ball carrier.
Victor Gary. And brings up second down and 9.
And that clock continues to run as we hit the 7 minute and 30-second mark. Santan Foothills comes up and lines up. You've got Cutter Cool and just, you know, and kind of an interesting run up the middle right there, because you had Michael Aracho who popped through the line and really was in a position to give a lead block and break that open for something a lot bigger. But then Leach was carried in the backfield before he could take advantage of that potential block.
Yeah, the Gopher defense has a little bit of momentum here and
brings up third down and 11.
Looking to end their season on a strong note.
And that clock continues to run with a 30-point lead. Heading to the end of the Gila River Bowl, and by all accounts, it looks like Florence will be taking its third consecutive Gila River Bowl victory. Man in motion is number 2, Michael Aracho. Deep throw intended for Aracho, who had crossed the field, but Angel Rankin on defense, and no one really had a chance to catch that football. Just not really catchable. You're trying to throw the ball away from the defender. You're put it where your guy can catch it, and just a little too far to the inside of the field, and no one had a chance. Fourth down coming up. We're going to have the typical look for the Florence Gophers with Isaac Sandoval and Tommy Carberry in the backfield ready to receive the punt. Sabercats are so deep in their own territory, you don't really anticipate a fake or anything other than a punt by the Sabercats. And an end-over-end kick takes a nice bounce, fielded by Sandoval, who's able to dodge a couple tacklers. Anthony Hood has a shot at it. Sam Andon has a shot at it. Dodges those tacklers, but eventually is downed at the 45-yard.
Walsh should be able to punt that ball.
But it almost worked out nice for him. The punt didn't go as far. It took a bit of an awkward hop in front of Sandoval, and he almost mishandled it, but those good hands reaches up and secures the football. And here we go with probably one of the last offensive sets that the Gophers are going to get in this game, as the handoff is up the middle.
Looked like McAvoy.
It does look like Josh McAvoy is the ball carrier. Gain of 5 on the play.
Ball carrier number 26. Jackson
Correction.
No,
Jackson Trinidad.
He's a Jackson's on our media guide here. Jackson Trentadue is the 5'11" sophomore weighing in at 0 pounds. They might have underrepresented his weight.
That could have been intentional, just to try to mess with the opponent's head.
Now you don't.
Gain of 3 brings up third down and 2.
But it's good to see Trentadue getting some of those reps, especially as these seniors graduate. The Gophers are going to be leaning on him in the years to come and getting that playing time, just like we were talking about earlier with Cutter Cool. You get those reps, and you come around to your senior year, and you've just seen a lot more, and you're able to react a lot faster, and it makes you a better player in the long run. As the Gophers carry the football for a first down, they'll keep the chains moving, and more importantly, if you're a Gopher fan, they'll keep the clock running.
Trinidad comes out of the game, and coming back in is number 5, senior Devontae Neal. Neal's had a lot of success in this area of the field this season.
And that give is to Neal as he cuts the ball upfield. He's forced out of bounds after a 13-yard gain by Cutter Cool. And you got to admit, the first half we were pretty hard on the referees for just the amount of flags that were being thrown and some of the lack of communication. And even though, we've still given them a hard time about some of the conferences they've had, second half officiated a lot better than the first half. It just seems a lot more crisp, and the calls are coming in faster.
They are. And a lot less flag work.
Yeah. And we do have a timeout on the field. It looks like that's going to be a timeout called by the Sabercats. That'll be their first timeout of the second half. They'll have 2 remaining.
Coming out is number 7, Chris Walter.
Yeah.
Senior.
And it looks like the seniors are going to start to come out to get their round of applause from the...
Coming in for quarterback is going to be number 12, Jet Scott. He's a freshman, and we're probably going to be looking to Jet Scott in the next years to be the varsity quarterback. Potential for that at least.
Yeah, but it's good to see Christopher Walter. It really... so much has grown into the role of quarterback, and has been a very solid quarterback for the Gophers.
Yeah, this year especially, Steve, his ability to get the ball down the field accurately and for his receivers to catch the ball has been just really great to see this year.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those unique things, because having taken over Santan Foothills, I really haven't had a chance to see the Foothills kids in a lot of games, but I have managed to see every game that the Gophers have played, and the growth of Christopher Walter over this year has just been outstanding, and he's turned into a really fine quarterback. Jet Scott gives the ball to Devontae Neal, who is ridden out of bounds by number 33, Carlos Soto. That's going to bring up third down. And we got a third down coming up here with the clock running. We'll see if Coach Howard gives freshman quarterback Jet Scott the green light to throw the football, or whether he's going to hand the ball on to Neal again on this play.
I think we're going to get to see what Jet Scott can do here.
And what Jet Scott can do is hand the ball off to Devontae Neal. He's fighting his way forward, but is going to be stopped just short of the goal line, spotted at about the 4-yard line will be the spot. Excellent run by Devontae Neal, carrying ball carriers, or carrying the ball, carrying the tacklers, carrying everything.
That'll bring up first and goal from the 4.
Tommy Carberry is going to the far side of the field.
And we do have a officials timeout on the field for a conference. It might be time to wrap up the book club for the night. They might see the time on the clock and realize that the ending really needs some sort of closure. You know, it's just you wonder what the conference was about. The end of the play was pretty clear. The spot seemed to be accurate. There wasn't a lot to discuss on that play. And the carry is up the middle, but stopped short of the goal line. The clock will continue to run, but the Gophers not in the end zone for the touchdown yet.
Yeah, the SaberCats aren't going to make this easy for them. They're going to make their stand at the goal line.
No, and you're still playing for pride at this point. It doesn't feel good to be down by 30 points, and if you can help it, you don't want the Gophers putting on another 6 points.
Second down, 1 yard to go.
Devontae Neal in the backfield. Jet Scott at quarterback. Give is to Neal. Actually, it almost looks like Jet Scott kept that football. It
was hard to see because those SaberCats came through and stopped the play.
They did, but I thought the give was Devontae Neal, but when that play was over, he didn't have the football. And 3 players were laying on Jet Scott, so I'm assuming he kept the football and was stopped short of the line to gain, bringing up 3rd and 1. The 3rd and goal from the 1. And
he sneaks it in there.
And that is going to be a Gopher touchdown. So it took them 3 tries from the 1 yard line, but they do get the ball in. Gophers take a 42-6 lead. Ty O'Rourke, who missed the last extra point, has another chance to end the season on a high note here with the extra point attempt.
This will be interesting to see how he reacts. Is he able to shake the last miss and just keep going?
I mean, and that last kick was, well, and that's a bad snap or a high snap or maybe a fake. Not really certain, but that, at the very least, that pass goes incomplete. I mean, like, it's very possible that was just a high snap and they were improvising there, but that is going to go down as a failed extra point attempt for the Gophers. 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining to go in this Gila River Bowl.
Yeah, judging by the reaction on the sideline, I don't think that was a fake. I think that was definitely a high snap.
And if it was, then you really got to credit Tommy Carberry there as the holder of giving them a chance to put points on the board despite what could have been a very broken play.
And the SaberCat defense, too, to recognize that. make the stop and not allow it to go in.
Well, we have 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining to go in this Gila River Bowl. The score has been decided, but there are definitely players on both sides that are looking forward to the last few snaps that they may have in their football career, or for some of them, the last snaps they're going to take this year as they look forward to the 2021 season. I mean, hopefully things are a little bit more normal than they are this year.
Kicking off for the Gophers, number 45, Ty O'Rourke.
And here comes the kickoff by Ty O'Rourke. Sabercats are set up to receive the kickoff, and it's up. Bounces to the 20-yard line and then is picked up by number 6. That is Emilio Soto, who stays on his feet. Tackle to the 35-yard line. But from about 25 yards behind the play, a penalty marker comes flying in. We'll take a look at the penalty. It's going to be a face mask on the tackle. That'll be a 15-yard penalty called against the Gophers. And as we were talking about, you're playing for pride, and that 15 yards, if you're a Sabercat fan, gives you some hope, then maybe you can end the season by putting points on the board. That's going to move the ball up to near midfield. 50-yard. Ball spotted on the 49-yard line. All right, here come the Sabercats trying to end their season on a positive note. One deep safety for the Gophers. Possibly some pass attempts. We do have a give to Gavin Lee.
Looks to pick up about 2 yards.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you kind of anticipate the pass play, but it's just been so unsuccessful all night that you might have a better chance of scoring if you ride Gavin Leach, who has been a big source of the offensive power of the Sabercats tonight.
Yeah, it's got to be a frustration just to not have ever been able to get that pass game going, because it could have definitely been powerful for the Sabercats.
And here's the give to number 24, Gavin Leach. In at quarterback for Santan on this series is junior Peyton Moore, who also weighs in at 0 pounds, if you can believe that. It's rare in this day and age to see a player weigh 0, and to see one on each team, it's nothing short of a miracle. Or whoever inputted player weights in the max. All right, here's the snap. Handled by Peyton Moore as he's looking for.
Down.
Yeah.
Chased down by number 55.
Yeah, number 55 doesn't exist either. So you have a player who weighs 0 and a player that doesn't exist out there, but that is probably going to wrap up tonight's game. Yeah. And what you like to see out of Peyton Moore there is he kept his eyes up the field and he kept trying to find the open receiver. Even though he got chased down, he never stopped working to make that play a success.
Yeah, there's no Sabercat
Here's
offense.
a long pass intended for number 15, who catches the football. That's Justice Gutierrez, who
Unbelievable way to end the game.
Deflected off of the Gopher defender. Keeping his concentration is Justice Gutierrez, who runs in, and Santan Foothills will end the 2020 season with a touchdown.
They get the exclamation point on this game here.
They may not have won the Gila River Bowl, but they definitely walk out with some momentum, and the play of the game right there.
Likely to be the play that was talked about for the next several years.
It should have been knocked down off the hands of the defender, right into the hands of Justice Gutierrez. But that does end the ball game. Final score, Florence Gophers take the Gila River Bowl 42-12 over the Santan Foothills Sabercats.
Mr. Miller, it was a pleasure calling the game with you. I look forward to several more years of the Gila River Bowl and being able to have this great rivalry between these two great schools.
And I'm definitely looking forward to next year, where the early analysts are saying that Santan Foothills are the favorites to win by about 7 points. So we'll look forward. I mean, it's early to start predicting things like that.
It is a bit early.
But it has been a good time on behalf of the staff and students, both at Florence High School and Santan Foothills High School. We'd like to thank everybody for either attending or watching tonight's game through the broken internet. Have a great night, and that's all I got.